Hi guys, welcome back to my booktube channel. My name is Sukaja, and in this video we're going to talk about the books that I bought recently on a book haul. I recently went to Champaka bookstore, which is in Victoria Road in Bangalore, and I had this amazing experience. There were a lot of new titles. They have everything ranging from regional literatures to translated fiction from around the world. They have some new releases as well. They are currently not doing so well because independent bookstores are right now suffering. So we would like to support them. They have now gone online and are also doing home deliveries of books. So I will link their website in the description box down below, and feel free to browse their titles and give them an opportunity to help you out by sending you a book home. The next part of this video is going to be about me talking about around 8 books that I've bought recently. Without further ado, let's get down to this. The first book that I want to talk about is Gilead by Marilynne Robinson. This is a book that I am currently reading. This was also part of my master's curriculum. I decided to revisit this because I think as time passes, as we evolve as individuals, what we bring to books as readers also changes. I definitely think that this book is going to be a really different reading experience for me at this stage in my life. This is about the Reverend John Ames, who is at the fag end of his career as a reverend. So he is retired and he is no longer preaching, but he has written tons and tons of sermons throughout his life. This is about him looking back on his life and also about his legacy and what he's done for the people in his past, his father, his grandfather, the whole tradition of being a preacher, preaches the sermons of Christianity, what that's been like for him, what his personal learnings. So he talks about all of this in a very nostalgic way to his son in a letter. His son is quite young. I'm just looking to see what more I can get from this book right now. This is set in 1956. It's a kind of testament, but it's also a very meditative piece. So when you're reading, it's a very calming reading experience. I'm only 40 pages in, but I will definitely get back to you with a full-fledged review in the days to come. The next book that I have here is one that is called My Past is a Foreign Country by Zeba Talkhani. So Zeba is somebody who grew up in Saudi Arabia. She has also traveled to Sirsi, India, and later on lived in the UK and Germany. So her experiences living in foreign countries inspired her to write this book. This is a feminist narrative in some senses. In this book, she examines her relationship with her mother. She examines what it's like to undergo hair loss at a young age, which is something that happened to her. And she also talks about the patriarchal custom prevalent in Saudi Arabia and how those shaped her perspective when she moved to different shores, to India, Germany, and UK, where obviously the lifestyle is more liberal than it has been for her previously. That is something that interests me, and I'm looking forward to reading this. Another book that I bought is one that has been on the best-selling list for the longest time. I bought Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall because I love historic fiction, and anything that has the Tudors in it is something that would definitely excite me. Fat books do intimidate me, and I really feel like I need to sit down with this book for 24 hours and actually give it my full attention before I can finish it. This is about Thomas Cromwell, who was one of the advisors in Henry VIII's court in England. Henry is one of the most famous Tudor kings. He married Anne Boleyn as well. This has a lot of history in it, and apparently Hilary Mantel is known to be a master storyteller. Her recent book was also shortlisted for a prize, Man Booker, I think. I'm definitely looking forward to reading Wolf Hall. I just started it. It's very atmospheric, it's very gripping. It takes you into the scene of the action. But at the same time, it didn't click with a lot of readers in the bookish world. So I don't know which of the categories I'm going to fall. But being historic fiction, I think this will be something I like. The next book that I have here is Crossing by Pajtim Statovci. I have previously read Pajtim's My Cat Yugoslavia, which was sent to me by Pushkin Press. I love Pushkin Press because it brings unheard of voices to the forefront. They publish books by people from all over the world, and they translate it as well. So this book is set in Albania, at least for some part. It talks about a journey between two men, one of whom is Ajim, and he has been experimenting in terms of his dressing. He has recently been found out wearing one of his mother's red dresses, and his father beats him with a belt. And his friend, Puja, is Agim's life, and they decide to flee the country together and begin a new journey elsewhere on different shores. So this is definitely about identity, it's definitely about immigration, and these are things that constantly interest me. So I'm keen to read this one. The next book I have here is Alice Walker's Possessing the Secret of Joy. I unfortunately haven't read Alice Walker's previous books. I hear that her writing is good, but at the same time, as per recent news updates, I have realized that she is racist and has been accused of a lot of racist comments about Jews and the Holocaust. But yeah, I want to read this book, keeping the artist and the art apart, I want to read from the perspective of looking at this as a piece of art and how that fares without having to know the background of the artist, the writer herself. This is about one of the minor characters in The Color Purple named Tashi. She is somebody who migrates from Africa to America, and this is about how her past follows her and how she's unable to sever ties with her past, which is again a theme that I constantly read. If you've been following me for a while, you know that is something that interests me. This is told in her own voice, so she gets a little bit of agency from this book. It's extraordinarily courageous and compelling, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. So the next book that I have is Lanny by Max Porter, which was nominated for the 2019 Booker Prize. This book is told in a very lyrical manner. It's written by a Scottish writer named Max Porter, who has been writing books earlier as well. His other famous book is Grief is a Thing with Feathers. Let me show you some of the font in here. Not just the font, but the format of this book and the structure is very interesting. It's unlike anything else that I've read before. And I think I saw a little bit of this in Lincoln in the Bardo, which was another book. But nevertheless, this is sort of like a poem told in a narrative poem. You will meet an array of different characters here. This is about a town set a little further away from London, and how people in that town, they have a lot of heritage and their experiences are influenced by people from the past. So this town is very rooted in its past. So we meet a character called Papa Toothworth, who is somebody who died. His spirit is resurrected, so he's around the town haunting. Let me just read a bit for context. This village belongs to the people who live in it and to those who lived in it hundreds of years ago. It belongs to England's mysterious past and its confounding present. It belongs to Mad Pete, the grizzled artist, to ancient Peggy, gossiping at her gate, to families dead for generations, and to those who have only recently moved here. So it's chimeral, audacious, strange and wonderful. I'm looking forward to reading this. I will be back soon with a review on this channel, so stick around. The next book is Spawned by Louise Bennett. First of all, let's take a minute to admire the cover and the packaging. This is a collection of short stories, which I'm yet to begin reading. It's again a lot of wordplay in here, which is interesting for people who like lyrical writing. Different stories that talk about solitude in his life and how there are pleasures and pitfalls of being alone and being a recluse. There's a lot of wordplay like broken bowls, belligerent cows, swanky aubergines. I love the use of words here and the musicality to it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that kind of reading experience. I'm definitely not going in for the stories. I'm going in for the form and the style of writing that's in here. A lot of people haven't found this book interesting and have rated it poorly on Goodreads, but nevertheless, I felt I should decide for myself, and here we are. Well, that's all the books that I have talked to you guys about. Let me know what you're currently reading and which of these books you would find interesting and would want to pick up. I look forward to your comments. Say hi. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel because any kind of support would be appreciated. I'm also on Instagram. I have a fully functioning Instagram account where I post reading updates and aesthetic pictures if that's something you're interested in. Please like this video and share it with somebody if you think they'll find it interesting too. That's all for now, but I will see you soon. Bye.